Try Shock for 1 set? Alright, fine. You know what? I'll do it. I'll try for 1 set.
A few moments later.
Okay, they're just ABA strong into Belly Ball, I guess. Bubelli, I kinda wish I had Sucker Punch here. I'm just not gonna lie. It's a little bit not ideal. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be covering some Ultra League battles because for me, this week up's a little bit too all over the place. So I am going to be running the, of course, rank number 1 electric type. It's going to be Belly Bolts, but with the rest of my team, I have a Alolan Ninetales and Heliolisk. And in a way, Heliolisk kind of ended up being more of my MVP than anything else. Alolan Ninetales, I feel like a lot of people just aren't ready for either because it's been kind of out of the meta for a while, and it seemed to make the most sense with the rest of my team to both cover grass, grounds, yeah, I mean, I think those are the main ones. Dragons too, right? Things that beats electric type. So, kind of an ABB team. I did run the Heliolisk with Power Whip or Grass Knot, I think. Whatever the grass move is. Grass Knot, I think. Instead of Breaking Swipe. Obviously a lot of reasons to run Breaking Swipe, so especially with all the dragons running around, but I figured Grass Knot would be much more handy in case I run into some ground types when I safe swap it. I unfortunately actually didn't run into that situation outside of Unova Stunfisk, but we'll take a look at the battles in the footage and get into it. Before we get into the battles, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you'd like private one-on-one coaching, scrims against me, some of my league guides and strategies ahead of time, or even tune into my live stream battles, feel free to sign up through the Patreon link down below. Kicking things off, we have a Shadow Drapion, and this is not really the best matchup for me, and also of course if they have any ground types in the back, we're just going to want to draw it out. Heliolisk, I found that a lot of you are not really ready for, so it's been a really good safe swap for me overall, and obviously Belly Bolt, fantastic in the back, but Heliolisk just hits pretty hard, and of course another electric type with Parabolic Charge, so make things a little bit easier for boosting purposes and makes it a little bit more bulky, so quite nice. I think though Technical even climbed with this before Parabolic Charge was buffed, so obviously had a lot of play in Ultra League even before all this. It's definitely on the frail side, but the typing is quite nice, so am going to throw this Parabolic Charge, do a good chunk of damage, and probably come in low Ninetales. I don't really want to eat the Earthquake, and then of course we have a fantastic matchup here. All right, a lot of people I realize also don't really respect electric types in Ultra League, or they're like ultra prepared for it. They have like double ground, like ABA ground even. But this is a pretty good spot to be in. I pretty much always shield this first move, because if you don't, you lose the 0 shields against Lapras, which is kind of annoying. I don't know about the Shadow Lapras, but definitely the non-Shadow. We get value here too, because I do have that Grass Knot for the Unova Stunfisk, and so yeah, I mean it's going to be solid because we should be able to hang on from here. Grass Knot's not nearly as threatening into Unova Stunfisk as it would be into like the ground waters, but that being said, it's still some good damage and makes it harder for them to farm you down. And then let's hope they're weak to Belly Bolt in the back, but likely given their lead. And yeah, this is actually not too bad for me. So it is going to be a Florges, so kind of not really weak to electric, but that being said, Belly Bolt, very, very bulky. This Sucker Punch even resisted. Actually, the damage does add up, right, as you can see right here too. But I'm just going to save my shields for this Alolan Ninetales at this point in time, and I should be able to swap out here too, which is quite nice. Yeah. No, it's going to be a Moonblast, but you kind of just want to tank a lot of damage on your Belly Bolt. Spend the shields on the Heliolisk to flip switch if you can. But yeah, that being said, this is just a Trailblaze, but I figured they couldn't get to another move. So I'm in a really good spot here. And yeah, we get another dub. The Alolan Ninetales in general has been really solid for me in terms of lead purposes. Once in a while you run into like a fire lead, but it's not terrible, right? Especially if it's a Talonflame. It's not great, but okay, this person's staying in here, so we're just gonna keep throwing moves. Always have to watch out for catches on these kind of things, but I think a few people did catch some Weather Balls on Lapras against me, which always is kind of annoying because you still have to shield up the Heliolisk. Alright, I'm just going to shield this up because I figure they're probably pretty weak to Alolan Ninetales if they're going to stay in here. And in comes another Florges. I don't know why we have so many Florges around. Dodge, what you doing? Maybe he's a little camera shy, but, alright. Oh, he's putting the ball to my neck right here. Moonblast, that's a decent amount of damage, but the Healisk Volt Switch damage does add up quite a bit. And I just want to kind of get rid of this thing if possible, or just grab a shield, because I believe I still have energy on my Alolan Ninetales. Could we even go for a combo play here? No, I'm not going to do that. Alright. This boy's just got a paw right to my chin. I'm just going to try to get rid of whatever this is. It's a Driplim in the back, so they're very, very weak to electric. And yeah, that's going to be another top left. I mean, it makes sense, right? With the ground lead, they're probably pretty weak to electric in the back. So they're trying to draw the Belly Bolt whenever they safe swap something. But we got the double electric. Shadow Galarian Weezing. Not a great lead, obviously, but this, I think a lot of people also underestimate the damage from Parabolic Charge from Healisk because the attack is so high. This likely could be overheat. Most Shadow don't run overheat, but this person was, so this is really good for me. I mean, it's Moltres into a Healisk. Like, what is going on? I don't know, but I'm feeling good about this. So again, a lot of people don't respect electrics, is what I noticed in Ultra League, or they just have a ton of grounds. It's kind of one way or the other, and things like this make life pretty easy for me. And then they have double Dark Flyers in the back. I'm surprised this wasn't a Bombardier, which I feel like, in my opinion, is probably better in Ultra League than a Yveltal. But that being said, they got it, and this whole team's very, very weak to not only electric, but also Alolan Ninetales. Obviously, Weezing's fine into it, but the backlines, like, they just have no way to take out my Alolan Ninetales, let alone the Belly Bolt. Alright, we get ourselves a Gastrodon lead. Something I notice, and maybe some people watching this video afterward will change it if they're playing Gastrodon. Almost every Gastrodon against this Alolan Ninetales will throw Earth Power. They won't bait with Body Slam in the lead. So I pretty much just always shield here, and you get a lot of value if you start shielding, right? And because you don't even have Dazzling Gleam, it's not really like you would throw the Side Shock anyway. So, alright. Great catch from onto the Lapras here. Like I said, some people do catch, and I probably should have been more patient in that respect. This is kind of awkward because I kind of have to shield to maintain switch, or my thought process here is I'm just going to soft lose this matchup and maybe farm down with Belly Bolt even. That could be another option. I think this cat is trying to leave, so we'll let him explore somewhere else. Alright. That being said, yeah, like I said, I will lose this zero shield situation. They come in with the Galarian Weezing. I probably should have baited here. It's very unlikely they don't shield now. They have 2 shields still. But yeah, I mean, we're just going to come in with the Belly Bolts. The good news is the Gastrodon doesn't have a ton of health, so I could potentially Sucker Punch it down, but it's a little bit awkward. And yeah, I want to get to the Zap Cannon, but we're just not going to make it there in time. There's always an argument to run Thundershock instead of Sucker Punch. Me personally, I think the Sucker Punch is just still much better for some of the coverage purposes against like the, you know, the occasional ground or grass types you might need to like Sucker Punch down or do some damage. Oh, I remember this battle quite well. So obviously I had to kind of call a bait here or just shield a Sludge. They actually end up baiting me, which is quite nice. This is probably going to be another Brutal Swing bait, but that being said, we kind of have to start shielding now. And then I wait and pause for the Fairy Wind, which is quite nice. I think they get to a move right here, so I kind of have to throw. Great catch by them, though, which is really unfortunate. I need to leave with another Weather Ball, and yeah, I just don't get to it in time. I think if it was almost a perfect undercharge, but just a little bit short. So great catch by them, but could have been a 5-0 there. So I think the team is really solid. As you can see, my elo, I hit Expert and I tanked a lot playing Hisui Cup, so that's why I'm back in Ultra League. Alright, the typing on Healisk is actually quite nice because you actually do double resist the ghost damage, which I completely forgot. I always forget that it's also part normal, so it actually makes things quite nice for me. This is kind of a tough counter swap though, because I don't have great answers to Credilli just in general. My best answer is the Alolan Ninetales, but this thing with like energy lead is pretty annoying for the Alolan Ninetales as well. So yeah, not ideal. But this is where Grass Knot is not bad. I mean, I guess Breaking Swipe is fine here too. They're both non-stab, neutral damage at least. I could potentially debuff with Breaking Swipe, so maybe Breaking Swipe's better there. But I may mess around with some Breaking Swipe later. But part of me feels like I'm going to regret not having Grass Knot. So We'll see, though. They go for the combo play, which is totally fine with me, because now I could just Sucker Punch down and get a lot of value here. We'll see what they have in the back, but, I mean, they're going to chip my Belly Bolt for sure. I'm just hoping that this energy is going to go somewhere. Obviously, Credilli is going to resist it, but they're pretty low, so I'm not really worried about that. Oh, yeah, it's Clefable. Yeah, this is kind of tough. I go for the Zap Cannon, thinking they probably won't shield. 2 shields up. They do shield, though. Yikes. That's unfortunate. But I'm just gonna go straight Parabolic Charge at this point too. I just don't have time to get to another Zap Cannon before they throw a move. And I was thinking, maybe I should go for a catch, but I just don't really want to catch a Meteor Mash either, right? They have Swift. That's really good for me because that means they probably have Moonblast and Swift, so they don't have double super effective Meteor Mash for my low Ninetales. So that's really, really good for me. Obviously, I still have the Watch Hour and Moonblast, so I'm going to shield, and luckily I do make the right call. They go for a catch attempt, not going to fall for it this time around. I have the back-to-back Weather Ball, but I don't know if Moonblast is going to take me out or not. Just barely misses out. It was Charge Attack Party, which is nice, because I should get the next move off, and I think they realized that they just conceded. I guess there's a chance my game lags, and I don't get it off, but I guess they were honorable enough to know that if the game worked properly, I should have won that one. Alright, Swampert. A lot of these have Sludge, but some of them still have Earthquake for the occasional Lapras and other stuff, so this one luckily doesn't. The pacing's still the same, though, and Hydro Cannon still kind of hurts, so even if it's Sludge, like, they can't mud-shot me down, I just have a little bit less health to play around with. I guess I might be able to handle 2 Hydro Cannons, but I just don't get to another move, so I'm just going to try to get rid of this as fast as possible, see what happens. They're still shielding, which is interesting. So I'm just going to let this go and Sucker Punch down. They don't get to move in time. And hopefully they don't hard counter you with something in the back. Oh, I do recall this game. Well, I did these battles tonight, like a few hours ago, so I definitely remember them. So Credilli, obviously pretty annoying for my team, but I do have the Healisk, which is even worse into this because I don't have neutral Sucker Punch damage, so I kind of just had to stay in here. Thundershock here would have been pretty tragic. So, of course, one of those situations where Sucker Punch is probably a little bit better in some respects. Obviously, the pacing for Thundershock is much nicer. And yeah, I mean, you beat what you're supposed to beat, right, with Thundershock, whereas Sucker Punch, the slow pacing makes it a little bit trickier at times. All right, they swap over, and it's a Shadow Claw Giratina. So I end up shielding here, I think, because I just wanted to like mitigate some of that damage, but in a way I probably should have saved my shield for the Rock Tomb in the back. But part of me is thinking, like, I just need to try, like, I just don't know if I can hang in this matchup too long if I don't shield the first move. I might not even have the chance to shield the potential Rock Tomb, right? Because I don't have much health in the back. I don't really want to even go for a catch at this point. I know they're probably going to try to combo play me at some point, so I don't really want to throw a move when they swap. But really great timing then for them to throw a Shadow Claw and swap in, so they know I can't possibly throw the move at the same time. Again, one of those times where maybe I should save the shield for the Rock Tomb. That being said, we do get to this on Charge Attack Party, which is quite nice, but not only do I not resist Shadow Claw on my Belly Bolts, but I don't think I have enough health. That's actually pretty bad for them, though. They should have shielded that, because I don't have energy on the Belly Bolt, so this could have been pretty bad for them if I was able to Sucker Punch down. I actually could have if it wasn't a timer and they didn't have energy, but that's a really risky no shield. But they get the win, so, you know, it is what it is. Maybe it was super calculated. One of those situations where Breaking Swipe probably is better, but then again, I can't tank the moves as well if I have Breaking Swipe and I don't have Parabolic Charge, so I don't know. Like I said, I think Breaking Swipe is totally fine to potentially run if you want to try that instead. Alright, it's going to be a Lapras, and this is okay for me. Grass Knot does hit kind of hard here. They go for the Parabolic Charge, which is going to boost their attack, but that's fine. I should be able to win switch here pretty easily, because I should be able to tank the Parabolic Charge. It's actually quite nice for me, because I might even leave with a move here. Oh, no, I just go for it. Why did I do that? I guess I couldn't really Volt Switch down. I mean, I think that's fair. Alright. Let's see what they do here. They throw a Sparkling Aria. I probably come in Belly Bolts. I'll have to tank at least one Sparkling Aria. I'm going to shield the first one, just in case the Belly Bolt's pretty useful in the back, right? Because, like, let's say if they have a Skeldritch in the back, my low Ninetales with that much health is not going to do much, so I need to preserve some of this health. Ends up being Galarian Moltres. There's a lot of these running around these days, actually, and this whole team's really good into it, so we are A-okay. A lot of them are running Payback, though, so they have a little bit more coverage into Belly Bolts. But that being said, I'm in a pretty comfortable position here. And yeah, thought about shielding here, but I was like, maybe not, because if they do have the Brave Bird, then I could be in trouble. Again, I don't know if they do or don't. I'm just going to throw the Weather Ball right away. This should put him pretty low at this point. I think this person goes for a catch attempt, if I recall correctly. Yeah, they do. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to throw a Side Shock. Weather Ball probably would have been fine here too. I just know that if they try to throw a move there, I get the Powder Snow through, so no matter what, I don't need energy for that in the back. Kommo-o! Fantastic lead, especially if they don't have any fighting charge attack, which is possible because a lot of them are in clanging scales, or if they don't have close combat, that's also really good too. Alright, again, you just kind of need to shield this matchup here because otherwise you can't maintain switch advantage. Belly Bolt's a little bit worse in these situations because, you know, the Sucker Punch is just kind of slow and stuff. I guess you could always come and, you know, Belly Bolt into these situations. But that being said, that's kind of impatient of me to just throw the move. I should have optimized, but the game also malfunctioned and I ended up getting a, they got denied their fast attack, so ended up working out for me, but it's not the smart play by me, so don't do as I do. Alright, this could be close combat, but ends up being brick break, so quite nice. And then they have a shadow, or they have a victory bell in the back. This is kind of awkward, but that being said, this is where the Sucker Punch again comes in really handy. That damage really adds up into the Victory Bell. I don't really need shields for this in Lone Ninetales because as long as I take out this Victory Bell with the Belly Bolts, they can't take out my Lone Ninetales with the Kommo-o, right? So I'm feeling pretty good. They go Sludge Bomb. Technically it's more damage. I think it's less energy efficient, but it's more damage. Yeah, we just do this, and then, you know, they come in Victory Bell, but like I could just Sucker Punch down even if they have a move. So again, one of those times where Sucker Punch comes in handy. One of my patrons would really likes to say to always run Thunder Shock, but I think it's situational. I think it made sense for that Summer Cup, whatever, Ultra League, but for regular Ultra League, I'm not super convinced, but we'll see. Alright, so I shield up the Shadow Punch, double resisted too. I was surprised he went for the bait there, but I am boosted at this point in time, so I'm not really worried too much here. I completely forgot too that Dynamic Punch is super effective, which is kind of on me. A great catch by them though to catch on the Belly Bolts. I'm just gonna come in with my own, and maybe this is not the best play, but I'm thinking that if they have a Dusknoir in the lead, they're probably pretty strong into Belly Bolt because Belly Bolt does counter it. And they're also running a Thundershock Belly Bolt themselves, so in a way, Belly Bolt is pretty strong into their team because their mirror matchup's slightly better. They get off more charge attacks, but I just do consistent damage with the Sucker Punch. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my thought process here, but I guess a Lone Ninetales could have been an option. We'll see what they have in the back. I don't actually remember. But I remember it wasn't as hard of a counter as I thought. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, this is actually quite bad. Tinkaton. Well, you don't see this very often either, right? So that's not helpful. But most are not running Heavy Slam at a minimum. They're probably not going to bait me here because I'm throwing all resist attacks. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, this is pretty bad. Everything I have is resisted. I'm actually surprised they even shielded that. But maybe they're thinking that, okay, well, Dazzling Gleam could kind of hurt. So if they had to shield anything, they probably go for that. In comes the Dusknoir to absorb some of this energy. My best play here is maybe catching a Play Rough and then trying to like whittle down, because the Powder Snow and Weather Ball damage is adding up even though it's all resisted, but this thing is just a bulk machine. I mean, it's bulky in Great League, it's super bulky in Ultra League too. I would love to have one myself, but I don't. Yeah, so unfortunately I didn't get the catch off, which is a little bit unfortunate because now they throw the Bulldoze, which is a little bit cheaper, and then if they're smart, they won't go Bulldoze here, and they do not. They go Play Rough. I guess they still had a shield, so it doesn't matter too much. Well, no, actually, no. If they don't take me out, I get that move off, then I get to this Parabolic Charge, right? So, unfortunately, just short of taking it out. But given what was in the back line, actually, that wasn't too bad. I mean, Tinkaton is pretty scary until Lone Ninetales, so made it kind of close. But yeah, we go 3-2 there. Either way, the team still feels pretty good, so give it a shot yourself. I'm going to play this team on stream as well tomorrow. So when I say tomorrow, it's probably like by the time you watch this today. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully I can climb more with it. But overall, it's been a lot of fun. So bring out your electric types, bring out your Belly Bolt, and give it a shot yourself. Anyway, if you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video. And if you know what this thumbnail reference is, drop it down below. Drop your ideas or guesses down below what you think it is. Shout out to my thumbnail artist Hurricane Cast for making it, but it is a reference to one of my favorite TV shows. That'll be the hint I give you. Anyway, have a good one and peace out.